Hey all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking channel. I am Darren, and today I'm going to go over some things that I haven't really gone over too much on the channel. I've reviewed some things, but I really want to talk about these things right here. Thermometers, we're going to talk about them. Instant read, the new wireless ones, the barbecue ones, all these different types of thermometers and what they can do for you and how they can help you cook better. I'll be right back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
Alright guys, like I said, today I'm not cooking anything. I'm just going to go over some things that you really need to know if you're going to start taking your cooking seriously. I'm going to go over some of these different types of thermometers, how they can help you cook, what to look for when you're looking for a thermometer. Like I said, I use several different kinds. With thermometers, you can go as crazy with them as you want, or you can just get by with just a decent instant read a lot of times. But we're going to talk a little bit about each one of these, what they do, how they can help you cook better. So I'm going to start with the instant read. So let me be right back. I'm kind of want to go over what the instant read thermometers are and what to look for. Okay. All right, guys. So I know it looks like I got a big mess here, but a lot of these different thermometers have different purposes, and some of them are specialized, some of them aren't. But I want to start with the instant reads because these are, I always recommend you at least get an instant read thermometer. And really the brand to me is not the most important thing, is the accuracy. I've got a couple different brands here. The one that's most popular with professionals and a lot of the people in the barbecue circuits and all that is the Thermo Pen here. And this, you've probably seen this if you've been on any of the cooking Facebook groups and all that. The Thermo Pen is probably the most popular among chefs because it's very high quality. It's got a very, very accurate reading temperature, very fast reading temperature, and those are the things you really want in a instant read thermometer. You want something that's going to be accurate to within a half a degree, or at least 1 degree, and also you want a fast readout. You want it to be within 3 seconds. By the time you open this up, stick it in the meat, you want it to be within 3 seconds. So you can know if you're searing a steak or something like that, you really want to have it as fast as you can, and you want it to be as accurate as you can. So one of the reasons you really need this is to make sure you're serving food at the proper temperature, the optimal temperature for that particular food. Where it comes into play especially is steaks. If you want to serve something medium rare, if you want to serve something medium, you really need to know what it is, instead of doing the old trick where you push it and see if it springs back or any of that kind of silly stuff that you hear old wives' tales or myths about. That's not really the best way to do it. It's getting one of these instant reads and sticking it in there, and then you can know exactly what the temperature is of that meat, and then you can pull it off. Like I said, this is the most popular, the Thermo Pen. It's the most expensive. It comes in right at $100 for ThermoWorks. But they also have one that's a little bit cheaper, and you'll see a lot of this in chef's pockets as well because it's got a little sheath here that you can put in your chef's jacket and just have it right in your pocket. And it's a little bit thinner, a little bit more pocket friendly, I guess, not as heavy. But then again, it's a little bit slower, and I think it's within a 1 degree accuracy. So it does not have as much heft to it, and I don't know if it'll last as long as the Thermo Pen itself, but the Thermo Pops are actually quite good as well. One of the things is a Thermo Pop, you need one of the little disc type batteries to power this one, where this one I think takes a AAA battery, so it's a little bit easier to get a battery for the Thermo Pen. Inkbird also makes a couple. Theirs are not battery powered, they're actually rechargeable. So they have a lithium ion battery in these, and they actually have a USB plug that comes in the end. And these last a really long time. between charges. So I haven't charged this one in probably 2 months, and it's still got full battery life. Now, you're not using these very often, and once you close them up, they shut off. So, you know, they usually don't use a whole lot of battery. So this is another Inkbird that's actually a little bit more along the lines of the Thermo Pen here. It's got about the same durability. It's also a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and it also has a lot of the same features as the Thermo Pen, and it's a little bit cheaper. I think this one runs for about 60 bucks instead of 100, but they actually made this one to compete with the Thermo Pen. So it's within 1 degree as well. It has the reversible LCD, just like the Thermo Pen, where however you turn it, it'll flip with you as well. You can do Celsius or Fahrenheit, and it's within 1 degree temperature and 2 to 3 second readout time. So it's about along the same lines as the Thermo Pen, full size. Then you got the lava tools. They make a couple different ones as well, and you'll see these on Amazon as well. And I've had this one for probably about 6 years now, and it works good. Again, it's got the little disc type batteries that you change it. I've had to change it twice since I've had it for about 6 years. But this one works pretty good as well. I think this is within one or 2 degrees, or I think it's within 1 degree. I think it's 4 to 5 seconds though, so it's a little bit slower temperature time as far as reading time goes. So this one's probably more along the lines as the Thermopop, and it's about the similar price. I think I paid 18 bucks or 16 bucks for this one, and that's what you'll find them on Amazon all the time at the 16 to 20 buck range all the time, and they make a couple different brands as well. But highly recommend at least getting an instant read thermometer, because you can use it on just about anything you cook. Cooking something to a specific temperature is going to make sure you don't overcook it. So even with fish, you want to cook it, you know, at a lower temperature of 125 degrees or so. You cook fish up to 165, 170 degrees, it's going to be, you know, very nasty. It's going to fall apart. It's not going to be very good. The texture is going to be, you know, not good. So, you know, measuring the internal temperature with an instant read, at least you have to get one of those. So with these instant read thermometers, you're really just checking the temperature right when you're checking it. You can't leave it in the food and monitor it or anything like that. You're pretty much walking up to your steak or your fish and checking the temperature of the food right then and there, making sure it's where it needs to be, or just checking out what the temperature is. And that's it. You put it away. You can't leave it in there. There's no monitoring or anything like that. So it's always great to have one of those in your pocket right next to your stove or refrigerator, or somewhere very close by. Outside here, you know, I always keep mine like in this little tray here, at least an instant readout here, so I can monitor the temps when I'm cooking stuff. Now you also have stuff like this here, which is, I just recently got this from ThermoWorks. It's a chef alarm. And this actually acts as a timer and also a thermometer. So this comes with actually one probe. It comes with a thicker probe, and then it also comes with, I also had these hypodermic type probes, or really, really skinny probes that'll actually work with this as well. So you can actually use this as a timer. So if you're cooking something strictly by time, or if you're doing a combination of time and a temperature, you can have this probe monitor the temperature for you of the internal of the food, so you can leave this stuck in your food. Usually these are oven safe. This particular one I use in the sous vide bath and use it in the sous vide foods. But same type of thing here. You can have it set an alarm to where if it's coming up to your temperature that you're wanting to cook at, you know, if it's coming up to, let's say I want to cook something at 145 degrees like a chicken, and I can set the alarm to go off at 143, so I can pay attention and make sure I'm there when it hits the internal temperature I want, and then take it off so it doesn't go over. So, but this is also, like I said, it can be a regular timer as well. So this is kind of a multi-purpose thermometer and timer, and they're not very expensive. I think this is like $60 some, and it comes with one probe, and you can buy the extra probes for 15, 20 bucks. as well. I can only have one probe in at one time, but you can get the thicker probe that it comes with, or you can get the thinner hypodermic one for like sous vide cooking. So really good tool here. Like I said, it's a dual purpose thermometer and a kitchen timer. So now we're going to move into some other things that are strictly used. You can use them indoors, but a lot of people use these strictly for outdoor cooking. Now, this one here is a 4-probe Inkbird Wi-Fi barbecue thermometer. Now you can use it inside as well. If you're using, if you're cooking something in your oven or what have you, you can use these in your oven as well. So this particular one, you can put 4 probes, so you can have 4 different types of foods in your smoker cooking, and you can monitor all the different temperatures. This one has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so you can monitor it from your phone. So you can make sure, even if you're not at home, you can make sure where your smoker temperature is and what the food is, because this has 4 probes. One of them you can monitor just your smoker temperature. So if it's something that's not a pellet grill that's already got Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, like my Kamado Joe or my Hasty Bake, I can monitor the temperature of the smoker and the internal temperature of the food. So that gives you a lot of information there to be able to control and monitor. You really can't do anything with this one. It doesn't control the temperature of the grill, but you can monitor it. So going from just the monitoring the temperatures here with this one, I have what's called the Ultra Q, and there's plenty of different ones. There's the Fireboard, there's a Flame Boss, there's other brands and models of temperature controllers out there. Inkbird has one as well. And what this does, it's actually got 3 probes for food and 1 for the pit. But this actually comes with a fan, and I'm not going to pull that out. But this comes with a fan. It will control a fan so you can control your smokers. If you go back and look at some of my videos, I've got a couple different these type of thermometers and temperature controllers that I use and show you what they can do. And like I said, this one has a little fan that can blow into your smoker and increase the temperature, or it'll stop blowing and then let the temperature go down. So you can actually not just monitor the temperature of your food and the temperature of the pit, you can actually control the temperature of the pit with something like this. This actually can get very accurate now. It's Wi-Fi, Bluetooth controlled. You can do a lot of monitoring. You can download your logs and save your different cooks and all that. So there's a lot more that you can do with these now. So the probes that are in this are all wired, so they actually connect into this. But now we're going to move into something that's a little bit different and a little bit more new age, and there's more types of these types coming out that are going to have some different options as well. These are called the meat stick, and you'll see other ones out there. The Meter, Yumly's got one, and these are completely wireless Wi-Fi, Bluetooth thermometers. Actually, the thermometer itself is Bluetooth. This is a Bluetooth repeater, and then you have things like this that actually are Wi-Fi, that this will actually feed into the Wi-Fi unit, and you can control it from anywhere. You can actually monitor this, pretty much from anywhere, from the Wi-Fi, on the Wi-Fi units. So this one here is a larger one, the larger regular meat stick. This is the one they first came out with. It measures both the ambient temperature, which is the temperature of your smoker or your grill or your oven, and the temperature of the meat. So you can get a readout on both of those. This particular one, this is a Bluetooth unit that will feed into the Wi-Fi unit, that'll feed to your phone and online. This is the charger. So this is really easy to charge. You just leave it in here. It charges up, and also it's the Bluetooth repeater. They also have something that's called the Mini, which they just came out with this at the end of 2020, which is a little bit smaller unit, but this does not do ambient temperature, strictly the temperature of the food. So this, if you have smaller food, if you're doing fish or thinner steaks, or just smaller, little things you want to monitor the internal temperature on, you would use the Mini. And this is Bluetooth as well, and also can use with the Wi-Fi. But like I said, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit smaller for more petite foods. Doesn't measure the ambient temperature, strictly the internal temperature of the food. But again, wireless, Wi-Fi. These are great for rotisseries because really, when you have something on a rotisserie, you can't have a wired thermometer in there, and you don't want to sit there and continuously hit it with an instant read. So to have a wireless thermometer where you can monitor the meat that's on a rotisserie that's spinning around on the fire is actually pretty good. Now these sell for, depending on which model you get and which size you get. This particular one comes with 2 probes, the Wi-Fi repeater and all that. I think it's right around $170 to $200. I've got a newer version now. I think they sell for $200, but it's got unlimited range, and you got 2 probes, so you can actually monitor 2 different kinds of meat at the same time, and right at $200 wherever you are. Actually, this particular one here, I've used this in my sous vide because this is 100% waterproof. Some of these are not, but this particular one is, and you can actually use it in your sous vide bag. So there's a lot of different things you can do with these different thermometers. So something like this, which is the temperature controller, sells for about $350 to $400. So you can find some cheaper that maybe do a little bit less, you know, with less probes or something like that. I think the Inkbird with 3 probes sells for about right at about $220. More of the cutting edge. These have been out now, I guess, for the last 3 or 4 years, and they're just getting better and better. The new mini came out just the end of last year, so they're making these smaller and better. All right, so this one I haven't mentioned yet, and this one has kind of a limited use, but if you look at it, actually, you can use this one on not just cooking, but for a lot of different things. This is a infrared thermometer that actually shoots out a beam of light, infrared light, and will actually measure the temperature of a surface. What this works good on is flat surfaces like your flat top cooker. If you're using a griddle or any kind of flat top surface in any of your grills, it's going to be able to measure your pans inside. If you're wanting to sear a steak and you want to make sure your pan's, 500 plus degrees, because that's where you get a better sear, that's what you use this for. And it's pretty accurate. It can change to Celsius and Fahrenheit really easy. You can actually hold it, have it hold the temperature and lock it in and all that. But I think this is within 2 degrees, 1 to 2 degrees as well. So it's actually fairly accurate for something like this. So it's just measuring the temperature of the surface by using the infrared. And it's got its purpose. You can use it for more than just cooking. But like I said, it's really great for measuring the surface of flat surfaces that you want to sear or cook on. It's really kind of hard to do that with an instant read or anything like that. Unless you have a very, very accurate induction cooker, you really don't know what the temperature of your pans are when you're cooking on stuff. So it's really good to have something like this. So that's about it, guys. I'm sure there's a lot more out there that I haven't discussed on here, but this will get you started. There's always going to be more technology coming out and better technology, but we have a lot right now. And like I said, I highly suggest you at least get a good instant read thermometer. Check out the links below for the ThermoWorks, for the Inkbird. Make sure you get a good barbecue thermometer. If you don't have a pellet grill that has, probes where you can monitor the temperature of the grill and the food, you really need to get something like this that you can make sure you're not overcooking your food and your temperature of your pit is where you need it to be. So they really help you out. If you got a rotisserie and you don't have a wireless thermometer like this, you're losing out as well. Highly suggest you get some great thermometers, guys. Check out the Fire and Water Cooking podcast. Check out the Fire and Water Cooking Facebook page and group. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Check out the thermometers I listed below if you're interested. But make sure you follow us, and I'll see you again on the next Fire and Water Cooking video. Thanks, guys.